Welcome back, Coach Nation, to another amazing episode. Today, we're talking about why going alone is a dead end. Now, you've heard the old idiom. Actually, I think this came from the Marine Corps. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. But the old saying says, if I want to go fast, go alone. If I want to go far, go together. But today I want to dive into why going alone is actually not the fastest route. Sometimes not even a slow route. In fact, oftentimes it is a dead end.
Yep.
Eric, can you elaborate on this a little bit?
Oh man, where do I begin? I can't tell you how many conversations I've had. I'm putting myself in the shoes of a fitness coach, right? Because obviously that's where I started, and that's where you started as well. Having conversation with a lot of people like, hey, I have a really good program. I want to sell this to you for X amount of dollars for X amount of time, and we're gonna make sure we get A through Z results. And then at that point, right, people are like, yeah, I'm all for it, right? But then there are those people that are like, I appreciate it, but nah, I think I'm just gonna do it by myself, and I'm gonna see how far I get. You guys probably have had a ton of conversations like that, and you're probably hearing this, you're like, yep, I know exactly what they're talking about, right? Then we're like, why won't these people understand that they need us, right? They need a coach, and going their way by themselves is actually the wrong way to do things, right? Wow. That's why you start being a coach, because you're trying to show people that they cannot do it alone, right? Then we also push over to the other side where we're now business coaches, right?
Come on.
And having those same conversations where we on the phone and people are like, this is amazing, but you know what? I think I'm going to do it by myself for a while. I'm going to see how far it goes, right? It really just comes down to seeing what the reality is. And the reality is that we are actually shooting ourselves in the foot by doing that. Because now we are no better than the people that we get on the phone with as fitness coaches, trying to show them that they need our program, right? It's the same thing. I need to understand that there is a huge responsibility that I have now. There's a huge responsibility because me accepting a position as a coach already makes me a leader. And I can't tell you how many times we have talked to people and they won't even call themselves leaders.
Right.
They're like, dude, I'm just trying to build a program and just sell it to people. But it's more than that. And we say this in so many different episodes that we do. This is why it's understanding, do I want to just do this as a hobby? Or do I want to do this as a business? Do I want to build something? Right. Do I want something that's going to reach hundreds of thousands of people, if not more, right?
And we don't knock it either way.
No.
Because often that's how businesses start. It's just from a hobby, something you enjoy. That's how it started 100%. For me. I loved fitness.
Yeah.
And then other people started asking me about it.
That's exactly it.
Right.
But they started asking you about it because they saw you as a leader.
Indeed.
They saw you as a leader because you presented yourself as such. And the thing is, people are so hesitant in calling themselves leaders because they don't want to accept that they have those responsibilities as a leader.
You just hit the nail on the head. I think that's really what it comes down to, is the responsibility. There's this kind of split track if we look at especially the coaching space in general, right? There are those who are teaching an actual skill, and then there are those who sign up to learn a skill. Instead of learning the skill, they just turn around and teach the process of learning that skill. Right?
Right.
So I go into business to be a baker, and to be a baker, I take a marketing course. And as a business owner, now I'm not a baker, I teach marketing to bakers. So It's like this back door that people get stuck in. And it's almost like, I don't want to compare it to banking, but it's kind of like when the financial institutions in this new game started. Everyone was resistant, kind of stayed away from it, so they had to incentivize it.
Yeah.
Right? To make it attractive.
Because it's not of the norm. What's the norm? You have something you want to do, you go to a 4-year college, you get your degree, and then you end up doing that job. So now everybody has this certain perception that anything that's separate from that mentality, which society deems as the way to go.
That's the way.
That's
right.
the
That's
way.
the American dream.
That's the way. So I need to be blocked off and say, no, this is the way that's been proven to work, when it's actually been proven to not work very well, especially nowadays. I think going back to what you're saying, in taking those responsibilities, a lot of it comes down to investment. And we talk about this a lot, but now I know that if I accept the fact that I am a leader, right? And I have that calling because I have now put myself in this place where I am going to take that step and live that kind of lifestyle that I should be living, right? In that kind of position, holding that title. Now that I have that leader, I need to decide then where I'm going to start investing, right? Because it doesn't start until I develop when it comes to my mindset, when it comes to my skill set, when it comes to my character, right? Or behavior. People think that it's just gonna come to them. You know, I'm gonna do it on my own, and I'm gonna watch a bunch of free stuff, and I'm gonna go on YouTube, I'm gonna do this, right? And yes, there's so much good free content out there.
Of course.
It cannot be the only thing that you immerse your life with. It can't be. Like, you need more than that. You need accountability, and you need to be able to pay to develop in those areas.
This is actually one of the, I love that you brought that up, because that's one of the biggest key factors that I see breaking this industry is people getting on YouTube, getting this information, this coaching, if you will, for free, and then trying to package it and sell it to someone else for $10,000.
It's that easy.
And literally, it's that basic. And this is the thing that, again, we're cutting through. So, like, how many different ways can you build a fitness business? I mean, at the end of the day, everyone knows they need to be healthy.
Yeah.
Everyone knows smoking causes cancer. And yet people still buy cigarettes and smoke.
Right.
And yet people still go to McDonald's and buy a Big Mac and then hire a trainer. You don't have the responsibility to change the world.
Yeah.
But because you are in a leadership position, that responsibility does fall on the shoulders of people in leadership.
Yeah.
So as you step into and emerge in your space as a leader, naturally people are going to be drawn to you. And this is the key point of what you're talking about. If that's the case, that my natural statement of saying I am a fitness coach automatically turns me on as a leader. So I'm a light now that draws things. The question becomes, what type of leader am I going to be?
Yep.
You've heard it. The blind lead the blind. They both fall into a ditch. So there are leaders who are incompetent. There are leaders who are not confident. There are all types of leaders. But the best leaders are often those who were the best followers. And I say that, do you have to understand what I mean? That does not mean I took a sales coaching class and then I became a sales coach.
Right.
That's not a follower, right?
Right.
That's indoctrinated. As a matter of fact, I think Zig Ziglar said there are two types of men that don't amount to much. Those who cannot follow directions and those who can do nothing else. That may have been Napoleon Hill, one of the two. The point is, can you make your own decisions? And as a leader, there's gonna be times when you have to. The covering of a leader, though, is so critical when you make a mistake. We've learned this the hard way. I've been in positions in business where I didn't have covering or a leader. I didn't have a mentor, nobody speaking over me, but I'm pouring out into other people. Very quickly, that becomes exhausting, right? If you're not getting fed, but you're constantly pouring out, you're burning your candle. Now, if you're not replenishing, you're going to burn out. The danger in this is not only are you hurting yourself, but other people are going to get hurt in this process.
Yeah.
So it is continuous. It is a continuous pouring. I always need a leader pouring into me so that I can effectively pour out to other people.
It really just comes down to kind of being real with yourself, I think. And this is the problem that we see. A lot of people, they get their cert and they have their NASM book, and which is a great first start, right? It's a great start. And then they think, well, I have that. I know how to train people, so I'm good to go. I can develop a great business. But then they shoot themselves in the foot. Because then what happens, Jason? I am a certified coach and I get 30, 40, 50 people in the year. And now I don't know how to troubleshoot because I don't know anything about business. I don't know anything about retention. I don't know anything about budgeting. I don't know anything about investing. I don't know what I don't know. Yeah. And I don't have anybody holding me accountable. I haven't trusted anybody because I'm like, I know how to train. I'm good. That's what I do. That's all that I need.
That's all I need, right?
And so now people shoot themselves in the foot because then they find themselves with their backs against the wall.
That's right.
And they get stressed and they get overwhelmed. They're like, I don't know how to maintain all this. I'm working 200 hours every 2 weeks. Like, it's just too much.
By the way, if you guys can relate to that, no, you are not alone.
Yep.
That's
100%.
Literally what every business owner starts out doing. Because I have this great idea. I'm really good at this thing. So I'm going to start a business. And then by starting that business, I do everything except the thing I'm good at.
Yeah.
Right? It's the classical, I'm a good chef. So I'm going to open a restaurant. But now I got to do the staffing. I got to do the payroll. I got to create the menus. I got to put the marketing out. I got to get the networking going. And I do everything, but I never cook a meal.
But then here's the problem, right? That person who is a really good cook and opens up a business, he's like, well, I'm a really good cook.
People are going to come to my business.
My food is great. Everybody loves my food. Everybody's going to come. It doesn't work like that.
Not at all.
You could be the best coach in the world, but if you do not have certain things in place, you do not have people that are walking alongside you, seeing 10 steps of where you're at, you will hit a wall every single time and you won't know how to climb that wall.
Likewise, you could be the worst coach in the world, a complete scam artist, but if you know how to market well, You will make millions of dollars and hurt a lot of people and keep coaches like you broke and unemployed because no one wants to work with you now.
And now you are that coach that sees that there's a problem when it comes to authenticity, and you're frustrated.
And have no money to fix it.
Right. Now you have no money to fix it because you haven't developed a skill set, you haven't developed a mindset, and you haven't developed behaviors and character that are going to be able to help you overcome that.
And this is critical, guys.
Yeah.
It is your skill set that gets you in the door. It's your mindset that keeps you in the game. But it's your character that maintains the level of excellence to win the championships.
Yeah, that's so good.
So many people can break into the room with a skill set, but it's their mindset or their character that breaks down. And before they know it, they're back at the bottom.
And going deeper into that, we talked about, before we ended up doing this episode, we talked about different types of leaders that we see.
Absolutely.
Right.
We even touched on it here. What type of leader do you want to be? As you think back to the people in your life, and I mean, take a minute, close your eyes, take a breath. Think back to from as far back as you can remember, from preschool through 5th grade, through middle school, through high school, through college. All of your coaches, all of your teachers, all of your mentors, all of your friends' parents. Who had the biggest impacts on your life?
Wow.
And why? Like, there's certain things I'll never forget about my preschool teacher. Most people I talk to don't even remember preschool. But there's one encounter I'll never forget. I'm like 5 years old, maybe 4. She pulls me aside and says to me very plainly, "Jason, I need you to behave because the other kids do what you do."
Wow.
And it's like, again,
man,
my dad had always been telling me,
right now.
He's always called me, you are your brother's keeper. You got to look out for your brothers. I was the big brother.
Right.
But now I heard it from a teacher and it clicked. Now I believe I'm not just a leader at home. I'm a leader because other people do what I do. So I have to be responsible now. Because if I lead them wrong, that's my responsibility.
Yeah, because now you have people that are pouring into you saying, "Jason,
come on,
this is who you are.
So good.
This is what you're meant to do." And so that's why we touched on two different things, like the appointed leader, right, and the emergent leader.
Very good. And
two different
very
things.
Different.
Very, very different. You may be that individual that maybe nobody has spoken into you. Maybe nobody has said, "Hey, you know what? You're probably going to be really successful if you develop a business.
Wow.
I see you doing really well. You should make this a business. Like, this is something you're meant to do." If you haven't received those calls on your life, that's okay. But a lot of people wait. This is where people fall into a trap. A lot of people wait to be appointed into that leadership to do anything. And because they haven't been appointed, again, they don't see themselves as leaders.
Right.
And they're like, well, again, why am I a leader? I'm just trying to sell something to people. Because people want to be led.
People need to be led.
Again, and just like your example,
come on,
people are doing what they see you doing.
Bingo.
Because you already have that authority as a leader.
And this is critical. How do we know this? One, because you're here.
Yeah.
You are a coach.
Yep.
You could not be here. You could not be a coach if you weren't already interested in developing your own leadership. If you haven't been called a leader or identified yourself as a leader, let me make it very plain. You have been purchased with a price. There is a cost to doing life. And I mean a literal cost. Money is not the most important thing, but for you to experience the most important things, you need to have money.
Yeah.
Or access to money.
Yeah.
Now, that's also the one thing, this currency, that every single person has that equal responsibility.
Wow.
Right? Unless I'm physically entrusted to a caretaker, but any competent person who is able to take care of themselves and think for themselves has the responsibility in their lifetime to manage their own money.
Yeah.
So at the very least, you are called to lead yourself, to lead your own life, to lead your money. If you do those things well, if you lead yourself well, other people are drawn to it.
Yeah.
It's not because of what you do. It is the discipline of any person to do anything that is attractive.
Yeah.
That's why monks get the attention of influence, or a billionaire, or an athlete, or an Olympian.
Wow.
We marvel at the discipline to accomplish that thing that we know we could never do ourselves. Usain Bolt, fastest man in the world. Most of us will never run that fast. But when he runs, we can't stop looking, right?
Yeah.
And this is you as a leader. When you step into your lane, people will not be able to stop looking because they need to see you.
Yeah.
You are a light in a very dark world for some of these people. Let me just say it plain, coaches. You can no longer afford to play small.
Wow.
More than that, these people cannot afford for you to play small.
Yeah.
Influencers are taking people's money left and right now in crypto. They're trying to get into the fitness space. They're in the real estate realm. Like, these people are everywhere, and people need you. So this is our gentle nudge and our gentle challenge to say, please become who you were called to be.
Wow.
Because you're needed out here.
So well said. And I really want to highlight what you were saying, it's starting with yourself.
Bingo.
If I already have a negative perception of who I am and what I'm capable of doing, that's going to leak into other people, and it's going to actually make a very toxic environment into your business. And these are the people that they end up doing this for 3 months and they're like, yeah, okay, I'm over it, this didn't work. It's because they haven't worked on themselves. We talk about relating your business to relationships. It's like, if I'm getting into a relationship but I have all this baggage that I haven't touched, and I have bad perception when it comes to what a healthy relationship is, and what I'm able to give, I'm probably not going to be very successful in that relationship.
That's a great point.
And so it starts with investing into yourself.
Yeah.
And that is going to overflow, like you said, into everybody else. But it comes from developing that shared vision at the forefront. It has to be there. And you to be able to develop into that vision requires a lot of sacrifice.
Wow.
It requires sacrifice of your time, sacrifice of the limited money that you think you have or have access to. A lot of people are listening to this and like, yeah, I can't really afford to invest. I don't have money. Figure it out, coach. Right. You are a leader. That is not an excuse anymore.
It's not.
What's going to happen when you get into your business where, let's say you find the money and now you're making 5 figures a month, you're making 6 figures a month. You think that everything is just going to be good and dandy, right?
Right.
With more money comes what?
More problems.
Right?
No.
And so how am I going to troubleshoot at such a high level if I can't even troubleshoot small money problems in the beginning?
Such a good point. That's a basic principle, right? If you're faithful with little, you'll be trusted with much.
Yes.
In fact, the other side says, if you won't be faithful with another man's, who will give you what is your own?
Yep.
And it's just to that point of being responsible. It's not, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. No. Stop believing lies. What do you have and what can you do?
Yep.
It is perspective.
Yep.
Right? It's always perspective.
Because now you are a problem solver.
Bingo.
You are a problem solver.
And this is the thing, right? People think, oh, God, I hear you, but it's such a big shift. But it's not.
It's not.
I love to look at Tony Stark as an example. When you look at like Iron Man 1, who do you see? And we all love Tony Stark, of course, as a character. Robert Downey did a great job. But when you look at the character arc, the development of the person, that man was kind of a jerk when we got to know him. He was mean, cutting people off, like sleeping with anybody he wanted to, sending people to roof for no meeting type stuff. But then you watch this transition. Mind you, Captain America is the appointed leader of the Avengers. But who emerges as the one all the time doing whatever it takes, putting his life on the line, risking it all. And who did he become? Because he was a very different person toward the end.
And he saved the world twice because of it.
He saved the world twice, but the antics were still the same.
Right.
He still joked with his friends, called them little nicknames, poked a little fun at him. It wasn't as crude and disrespectful as it was.
Right.
But he was able to alter the perception he had, doing the same things, but now using it for good to attract people instead of repelling people.
Because then instead of seeing, he saw himself as an individualist in the beginning.
That's right. And he could not save the world by himself, as he learned the hard way.
And so he had to change his frame of mind and the way he saw things and his ability to actually do things that he didn't think he was able to do in the beginning.
And how many coaches do you hear, oh, I just need to make more money. I need more leads. I just need to close more sales. All my circumstances just changed. Everything would be great.
Exactly. We get on the phone asking people, and the number one thing that people say is like, I need more leads.
All the time.
No, you don't know how to handle those leads.
I could give you 1,000 leads right now. What would you do with them?
You probably wouldn't close them because you don't know how to talk to them.
Well, coach, out of 1,000, I'm sure I'll get, But that's exactly the point. If you can't tell me, oh, if you gave me 1,000 leads, I will close 500 because I have a 50% closing rate. If you don't know that, we need to go back to basics.
100%.
Fundamentals.
It just really comes down to understanding that nothing is going to really move forward the way you want it to unless you start at the beginning. And again, that comes into investing. So a lot of people make the mistake where they don't start off investing. And so our encouragement to you, obviously we are not advisors at that capacity. So, we're just telling you what works for us and what we see works, right? And we see a trend. I'll tell you right now, if we didn't start by investing right off the bat into the right people, the right coaches, the right seminars, the right programs, whatever the case is.
Coaches, not crypto.
Yeah.
Coaches.
Right. Obviously, you know,
develop yourself before you put it into an asset.
Right.
Especially if you need money. Do not put it somewhere like the stock market or crypto.
Yeah.
Put it in you, right?
Yeah.
You are the best investment you could ever make.
So good.
And you say, well, how much do I invest? How often do I invest? As much as you can, as often as you can, until you have no more things to learn.
It's about priorities, right? Why am I going to spend time? And we're not knocking crypto. We're not against crypto.
I love crypto.
But why am I going to have them? Well, everybody's doing crypto, so let me just put my money into there.
Let me follow what everyone else is doing.
But I haven't developed into that person I need to because I'm terrified of investing into something and it not panning out. I'll tell you right now, okay? You are not going to go through your career without making a bad investment. It just is not a thing.
Yeah, you're going to make mistakes.
You have to.
And it's okay.
It is okay and it's normal. And guess what? It comes with the territory.
Yeah, and if anything, you should probably look forward to it, because then it's like the faster I can make a mistake, the faster I can learn the lesson.
Yes.
Right?
Now I know what not to do.
Bingo.
Because I invested into that. And it's not always going to be like that. You might right off the bat find the best coaches that you can.
Right.
But it may not be that way. But if you're frozen where I'm just not going to invest at all because I don't trust anybody, you will never be successful as an entrepreneur.
And we don't have to beat that dead horse, because we can just look at the evidence.
Yeah.
What does it cost you to not invest? Same place years after. Same stress, same frustration. We don't have to harp on it.
No. And
we know what it costs not to do it.
Now I can't properly influence people because I'm not even willing to take that step. And so I don't have any power of influence over them because of that. And we wonder why. Why am I not getting people? Why am I not able to close these sales? It comes down to you.
And we always talk about this, right? It's only two things. Either they don't trust themselves or they don't trust you.
Yeah.
If you say you're a leader, but I feel like you follow me, then I can't trust you to lead me.
Yeah.
Right? If you say you're a leader and you lead me, I believe you'll continue to lead me.
100%.
Simple as that.
100%. Because they see your strength and your ability to not be frozen solid and being stuck where you're at. And a really good way to close this is kind of talking about, there's this business individual that I was listening to the other day. Really powerful. She's already created pretty much on her own. I mean, she developed by investing into people, but she built this business with her being the only person in place, and she built it from scratch, and it was incredible. And she, if I remember correctly, it was a little bit over $30,000 worth of debt from bad investments because she was desperately trying to find the right people. Had she not made those investments, she wouldn't be as resilient as she is. She wouldn't be able to see red flags. She wouldn't be as observant. She wouldn't be as sharp. After all those investments, she finally found the right coaches, but she had to go through that. People are like, if I don't find the right person at the top, that's it. It doesn't work.
So funny you say that, because as you're saying that, I'm thinking back, like, you know what, you're right. All the biggest lessons I've learned actually came from the bad investments.
Yep.
The good ones were easy because it's like, oh yes, I got what I paid for. I just wanted to learn this thing and I learned it.
Yep.
But the bad ones are like, oh man, that's when I learned the whole lesson to the core.
The biggest.
That's a really good point.
And it really is. And now she's a millionaire, right?
She is.
Because she made a multiple seven-figure business from that.
But it started with her taking the lead. She had to take the step. I know it's profound, guys. Leaders lead. It's as simple as that.
That's it. You do that, people will follow you.
They will.
I promise you, because people want to be led. They want to trust and put their money into people that they know are strong. They know are powerful. They know that there are people that they can emulate.
Right.
Because of their willingness to overcome adversity and their willingness to see the other side of things that they can't see. That's so part of your leadership and what makes you such a valuable coach. So we're going to close it there, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If this was valuable to you, we want to hear from you. We want to hear what your thoughts were. So please leave a comment below if you were watching our YouTube channel. If you're listening to this podcast, we definitely want to hear from you as well. All right. Feel free to message us and tell us if you got some value from this. All right. We'll see you guys next week at the next episode.
Keep leading well, coaches.